Welcome back, everybody. We are the rest of the field. My name is Jason Gorman with Chris Weiler, Deke, and Ben Christensen. We're back at it here. We did not take 2 weeks off. We're coming at you a little bit later on Sunday, so a little bit more has happened than when we have recorded in the past couple weeks. So I don't know if that will change much of how the show goes. But with that said, let's get right into. Yeah, I was going to say, let's start rolling. Either way, whatever. Let's get into episode 13. What's on Deke's Dome? Deke, what do you got today?
I have a Mets hat for Cespedes, just calling it, just leaving, not telling anybody.
Cespedes for the rest of us?
I'm not getting COVID. This is dumb. Our league doesn't know what the heck we're doing, so I'm out. And
Any backstory for the fans out there on this?
I don't have the backstory.
We can talk about it in a few minutes. But
my backstories are the first thing I see on Twitter, so that's my backstory.
So what about the hat? We got a story on the hat?
No, I like the colors. I just bought it. I essentially collect the teams for the MLB, so I have a large majority of the teams. Besides, I'll never get the Cubs. I'll never get the Cardinals. I think you guys would be happy with that.
I am very happy about that.
Other than that, I also will never get the Yankees. That's the other team that I won't get. But so
I don't mind that one. It's
but
kind
I
of an
wore
iconic hat. Yeah, Cubs and
but I
Cardinals.
wore the Mets hat for Cespedes.
Old Cespedes. Yeah,
And
he had himself quite the day.
Prior to, I don't have any story. I just bought it because I like the colors, and I didn't have the Mets hat yet, and I needed to add it on. But I also I have a little gripe. I was thinking about this, about you guys scoring, and I think Ben will probably agree with me, but I have no idea where this turned into. The segment is what's on Deke's Dome. I have no idea how this turned into what is Deke wearing for underwear today. Does it have to match his hat with his? Do I have to get a grill too, like a Mets grill in my teeth? Like, what do I gotta do here? Like, how this turned into?
Well, it started with a thumbs up, thumbs down, and it sort of morphed into we wanted to somehow show how we truly felt. I feel between Chris and I, as opposed to a thumb, because one thumbs up or two thumbs up doesn't really give a rating, and it's very easy to lump a bunch of hats together. So we wanted to differentiate between the different selections, and I don't think that it's anything necessarily against you per se. It's just how we feel about the hat and or shirt combination.
Okay, I just don't know. I don't know how the shirt combination eventually got in there.
Well, I think it's fair because it's just an outfit. You know, it's just
right, and he started with that Milwaukee, that Bucks hat, and the Celtics shirt was what really threw it off from the get-go. Because I think that was the first week you did it, right? Was Milwaukee?
We gotta rename the segment. What's on Deke's body?
I don't know if we want to get that X-rated. Let's keep it PG for the folks at home. And we got to make sure you got a fresh shave going everywhere.
There's my
arms.
There's my gripe.
Well, with that said, Ben, how many stars today? How many thumbs up or whatever we're calling it?
If we're doing stars, I'll give you 3.5.
Ooh, low out of Ben.
I understand. I understand the needing of it to fill the full league, but other than that, the Mets don't really do it for me.
Not very timely for you today on the news story that broke?
I don't care. It's just what it is.
He doesn't care. Chris, what do you think?
It's going to get a 1.5.
We got a new low. Deke about lost his drink there.
Has nothing to do with outfit, anything. You know, I guess we can start just judging the hat in general, but, 1.5. Sorry, Cespedes.
Wow.
Well, we won't have to worry about his name the rest of the season, so it's good.
Right, that's very true. Wow, that's Chris firing shots here to start the show. I'm gonna go. I'll join Ben at a 3.5. I don't mind the hat. It's kind of a classic hat. No frills, no fuss. So I'm gonna go 3.5. We'll keep it simple that way. So I guess that wraps up what's on Deek's Dome for this week, and we'll move right along into our MLB draft results. So last week we drafted current MLB players. We did 2 outfielders, 2 infielders, and 2 pitchers. And so roster 1, that was Deke. He went with Yelich, Cole, Arenado, Judge, Syndergaard, and Trevor Story. That was roster 2. I went with Mike Trout, Bellinger, Scherzer, Verlander, Bregman, Alonso. Team 3 was Ben. He went with Acuna, Lindor, Harper, Kershaw, Machado, and Josh Hader. And then Chris rounded it out with Jacob DeGrom. Everybody else calls him DeGrom. Betts, Strasburg, Stanton, Bogarts, and Rendon. And so the Twitter votes came in on this one. And I guess not really shocking, but Deke took down half of the votes to win this one. And I guess I was behind him, and then the other 2 were sorely trailing. So, Deke, congratulations on your victory. Any winning speech for us?
No, I want to jump back to the hat thing with you, Jason.
Oh my gosh!
You had for like 3 weeks that I've done this. You say to me, "I just love the traditional MLB hat that the teams wear." Yep. And this is what I went with this week. Timely for the news story, and you still just throw out a 3.5, but that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I think this week I was still rolling in the outfit with it, and like Chris said, if we're just going to do the hat moving forward, then we'll do that. But for this week, I was still putting together the whole package, and so it wasn't all there. I like that. I do like the hat.
That's fine. I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to get a Mets jersey or anything if I'm collecting hats. Just saying. Not like Benny, buying just rando jerseys all over the place. Ricky Williams and all that.
Yeah.
If you would have said that first, I would have given you a higher score. Yeah.
But this, it's honestly a little disappointing in our voters. They just vote for whatever is their favorite in Wisconsin. So I'm just getting a little disappointed. Not that I want to discourage our fans from watching, but I knew I was going to win because I had Yelich.
Yeah, and you know what? To be honest, I was going to say the same thing. Not necessarily for this draft, because again, we kind of figured that's how it was going to be. But today we're doing an NBA draft, and basically whoever picks Giannis is going to win, regardless of the rest of the 5 or the rest of, the other 4 that they draft. So it is kind of disappointing because you sort of know it's an uphill battle for the other 3, and you kind of have a cakewalk if you either have the number 1 pick and you take Giannis, or if somebody else picks somebody, like LeBron ahead of them or whatever. Yeah, it's disappointing. I agree. And I was actually going to bring that up. So I'm glad you did, because typically I'm the sore loser in the bunch. So thank you for taking that for me.
I'm the sore winner loser.
Yeah.
Hey, so I'm gonna run by the standings.
Oh yeah.
Ben 5. JT Money, Jason Gorman 5. Big Boy 5. CT Double Wila 4.
Oh, so we have a new cellar dweller in Chris Weiler. The rest of us hanging out at the top with 5 victories. Ben helped out last week with 2 victories. I think that was last week or 2. I don't know. Whatever. He won 2 in one of the weeks that we did this. They're all starting to run together. So
last week Ben won 2 and it pulled him in the lead.
Nice. And then he had this crappy draft. So you did pick Manny Machado, so you deserve to lose, Ben. And Chris didn't know who
tied for last.
Yeah, you're right. He tied for the loss. Good job. All right. So with that, we're actually going to go right into our sports again. We're going to do an update on kind of the 4 major sports that are playing, or at least the ones that we know some stuff about. hockey did get started up, and for all you hockey lovers out there, we just don't know a whole heck of a lot about hockey unless somebody wants to volunteer themselves to do an update on hockey. I just don't think that that's our forte. So we'll kind of leave that alone for now. So Ben, PGA golf, what's happening? I guess today, or maybe it's even done already.
Nope. So the St. Jude is going on right now. The leaders have about 3 or 4 holes left. Justin Thomas is currently in the lead over Brooks. Brooks is the defending champion from last year, so he also won the Pete. Yep. Brooks Koepka. Brooks actually won this tournament and then the PGA Championship the week after last year, so he won back-to-back tournaments last year. He was kind of looking to repeat that. He is currently just down 1, so close tournament. It could still go anyway. I'm pulling for JT since I picked him in my golf league this week, so hopefully that pans out.
Yeah, I got it. Awesome. So what's coming up after that?
So next week is the big one, the first major of the year, PGA Championship in San Francisco. They're playing at TPC Harding Park, so that'll be one of the big ones to watch. Obviously, they're still doing the Masters this year, but I believe they've canceled the British, and in the U.S. Open, I believe, was canceled as well. So there's only going to be 2 majors played this year. So it'll be exciting to see that go on.
I don't think I knew that about why. I wonder why they canceled the U.S. Open.
Just because of the location and then all of the coronavirus stuff, they decided to cancel it rather than postpone it. I don't know why.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me. If the guys are traveling all over the U.S. for all these different events, what is the U.S. Open isn't anywhere different?
Well, the PGA Championship is normally this late in the season, so they didn't really have to reschedule that. I want to say they moved it a week or 2, but it is usually later in the season. So that one, really the only one that they moved was the Masters. The other ones they just canceled.
That was my fault. I was actually talking about the British.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that one I understand because everybody's got to leave the U.S. to go there, and for the most part, international travel isn't allowed to a lot of places. So, all right. So, the Harding Park aspect, I was reading up a little bit, and it seems like nothing PGA Tour wise has been played there since like 2015. Is that right?
No, it sounds like it's been quite a while. From what I understood, it's more of a municipal course, so pretty much anybody can get onto it, which is nice for us golf fans. It's always nice to be able to go to a venue and say, hey, they've played a PGA Championship or US Open here. It just adds a little bit of mystique to the venue. Always kind of nice. Obviously, it adds a little bit of money to the price as well, but it's just fun. And then you go in there, and a lot of times you'll be teeing off, and some of these nicer courses, they make you play with the caddy, and the caddy will point out, where the tees are for the pros, and it just kind of makes your jaw drop sometimes on these holes, how far back those guys are actually playing on some of these.
Yeah, how much they change it. So, yeah, I think if I read it or remember it right, it was the 2015 World Championship, and I want to say it was match play, was maybe the last or latest PGA Tour event to be there. So it's been quite a while for everybody. So Ben, did you have anything else golf related? Otherwise, we'll get into our first draft.
The only other thing I wanted to bring up was talking with Chris. I mean, Chris witnessed a hole-in-one this weekend, from what I understood.
That's right. So Chris, why don't you give us the details on how that went down?
Yeah, first one I've ever witnessed. Makes a big deal. Hey, it does. Pretty big excitement. But but one buddy of ours called his shot, and I mean, it was a pure nice. It was about par 7. I'd say it was about 125 yards. So it was
par 7.
Good. I'm sorry, hole 7. I'm sorry, hole 7, par 3.
I love that course. That's my
guy landed 2 feet from the hole and took one bounce and rolled in, and then chaos broke loose. So the rest of the day was a blur.
So, okay, so he hits the shot, right? And so I've seen a couple pictures. You guys all see it go in. What happens? Does he take off running up to see if it went in? Do you celebrate right there on the tee box? What happened? Who went where? How did that part go down?
So we do have video of the post celebration by the people that were having to film the shot, but like the hole and whatnot for any hole-in-one prizes, but they don't have the actual shot on video. They just have post celebration. But I think for a majority, everybody just ran in opposite directions, sprinted for about 10 seconds. And then we kind of all met back up on the tee box, you know, and kind of celebrated there. So
So what was the
What
prize?
was the hole-in-one prize?
it was the worst one on the course, unfortunately. I think every hole was like a car, a Kawasaki, like nice 4x4. There's like a year's supply of golf, but he won like a year's supply of golf balls, and I think he got like $1,000 for a tournament prize for hole-in-one. But when you have a chance to win a car, you know, it's a bummer, but you take whatever.
So was he the first one to tee off in the group as well?
He was third.
He was third. Okay.
What options did you guys have on the green already? Did you need this shot to be decent, or so was there any pressure on him, or was somebody close and everybody else was taking dead aim?
Yeah, I think Loveland was already on the green, probably about a 8 to 12 footer. So it wasn't too much pressure, but his shot was dead on the whole time. I mean, it was straight on and perfect bounce. So
the rest of the round then, how did everybody play, or specifically how did Sean play? Did things unravel after the big celebration? I'm assuming a bunch of drinks, maybe shots and whatnot. Did play continue at a high level, or did it sort of drop off after everybody celebrated?
Yeah, it got us going. We played the next 4 holes. We had 3 out of 4 birdies, and then just kind of tailed off. It definitely ensued a lot of drinking, quite a few shots right after it. We didn't really know what to do. We just figured it's all about the story after you get the hole-in-one. Then well, what did the day look like? And we can't just be like, oh, we had a good time and then went home. So that was fun.
Right.
But that was a lot of shots.
Right. So did you stick to the the guy who makes the hole-in-one has to buy rounds for everybody? Did he buy a round for the group? Did he have to buy the rest of the day? How did that work out?
You know what? I think a lot of people mentioned that you have to buy the rounds, and I don't think anybody put a tab on him, so he got lucky in that sense. He didn't offer to buy any rounds that I know of after. Maybe he did in the clubhouse for people. I wasn't sure. But he also won a chip, like $400 on a chipping into the river contest. So, you know what? If the casinos were open, we'd probably be there. You know, he probably should have paid for everybody's round of golf or something. I'm sure Louis Jansen will probably hound him till the day he dies because he didn't do that. So he gave him enough opportunities and warning about, hey, probably you won a lot of money today. I would love my golf paid for. And it came up crickets every time he brought it up. So it's interesting. I wonder if he's still on it.
What'd you guys finish for score?
Finished at 8. Not. I have no idea place wise. 8. I think we were trying to get to about 12, so definitely not quite where we wanted to be.
Must have been a decent
field. Sounds like a good time though.
Terrible.
Not terrible. We just putting. You got to hit putts. Had a lot of looks, just didn't give ourselves a lot of easy putts. So
understandable too. If you hit an ace on 7, that it kind of goes a little downhill from there.
Right. That's a lot of holes left after all the drinking.
Was that actually your 7th hole, or did you shotgun start?
Shotgun start. So we started on back 9. We started on 16. So we had 3 holes on the backside already done, and then the 7. So we had about 7, 8, 9 holes left after the hole-in-one.
Yeah. Gotcha. Well, that's awesome. It'd be fun to see it. Yeah, fun to witness, and be nice to see a nice shot go in. God knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So I guess with that, let's see here. Let me.
Hey,
so if Sean's listening, congrats, Sean. Buy Louis' round.
Well, there you go. Ooh, check it out, guys. I changed up the format of the draft table. Went with a little classier navy blue instead of the orange. I think I like it. I personally like it. So little nicer look, a little more formal. So like we've done in the past, we're going to do our PGA Championship 2-player draft. And, obviously people aren't playing together. We are going to pick who we think is going to essentially finish the best. So we're trying to pick winners here, at least guys that are going to make the cut and make some money. And we're going to put it up on Twitter, and you guys can vote who has the best chance of winning this. But what will ultimately determine the winner, unlike our other drafts, is going to be the overall winners, which is interesting because we may not know for 2 weeks how that turns out. We may have a pretty good idea if we're recording next Sunday, but again, we're recording on Sunday, and that's when the PGA Championship will be finishing up. So we should know that both of Deke's guys haven't made the cut, and he won't make any money by then. But the three of us, all still competing, we might have an idea, but there will certainly be holes left to go. So we'll see. So, oh shoot, you know what? I didn't think of a way to determine a draft. Does anybody have or the order? Does anybody have any paper that they can write down 4 names and draw those quick?
The guys I pick will be due, so I'm not worried about it this week.
That's true. That's true. You just got to pick the ones that are due for a win. So Chris, I think, was writing the names down. Sorry, I didn't put that together too well. And then keep those names close by because we'll use those for the NBA draft as well. I'm sorry if I'm breaking up a little bit. My connection on my end's not the best, so I don't know how it is for you guys.
Sound okay here?
Okay, so it's just choppy on my end. All right, Chris. So we're picking for last place, the last pick. So let me know who it is because I'm not watching. I'm just typing this in.
Jason.
Oh, look at that. Someone else draws the names and Jason comes up last.
Breaking up. Who was it? Ben?
Jason.
You're last.
Oh, it was me?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure you're shocked.
It cut out. Yeah, right, Chris. Did we make sure you put 4 names in there?
So Deke was second, obviously. I don't know if you saw the screen.
No, I'm not watching. I'm typing it in.
Yeah, so Deke was second to last.
It just happens every time. This is the way it goes.
I'm number 2.
I'm assuming that means Ben was second.
Yeah.
Who's due? Who's due? Who's due?
Chris, okay. Chris did show that he had his name in there. Well done, Chris.
Sure. See, so it always happens that way.
Still the cold paper. I think that's what's going on here.
Frozen paper, ping pong ball,
or you just stick it underneath the brim of the hat, so it's the last one you take out. I see it.
Yeah, there's strategy involved here. Okay, so let's try to be fairly quick with this because we got some other stuff to get to. So Chris, number 1 pick. Who you going with? PGA Championship.
Ricky Fowler.
Wow. Okay, he's due. He wanted to pick him before I got to Deke because Deke typically picks people who are due, and Ricky is due. Ben, who you taking? I think I know.
I'm going to take Brooksy. Koepka.
Oh, I was wrong. Okay. Koepka. So Deke, just pencil you down here for DJ?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
So not shocked by that, but having the 4th pick, I was like, I had a goal in mind when I was looking up previous course information, and that 2015 match play championship that happened, it came down to Rory, who is also the odds-on favorite to win, and Gary Woodland. And I was like, okay, that's going to be my goal. If I can get Rory, I know Woodland's not going to get picked, so I'll pick him as my 2nd pick. And Rory fell to me. I figured he would, being the odds-on favorite, he would get picked. So, I mean, that makes my 2 picks super easy. I'm going with Rory McIlroy and then Gary Woodland. Gary Woodland. They faced off against each other back in the 2015 World Championship match play, and McIlroy was the overall number one in that particular tournament, and he took it down. And obviously, since then, Woodland is, what did he win, a U.S. Open? Yeah. So I like my 2 picks there. So Deke, you got DJ, like we all know. So and also, did he shave or something? I was seeing some stuff on social media that maybe he was trying to bust a slump and maybe shave.
Wait, he shaved?
No.
I don't know.
It changes everything.
Yeah, I don't know. I want him.
Hold on.
Ben, you're muted. So Ben, you got some info?
I think he just trimmed it down. I don't believe he shaved.
Oh, then we're perfect. Guys trimmed mine down yesterday, so we're good then.
Yeah.
Oh, chatter on Twitter, and I never saw pictures, so I wasn't sure, but okay. I didn't want to get Deke too worried. So Deke, who you got with your second pick?
Let's go Kevin Na.
Wow, okay. The big cat's still out there.
Bro, he clean shaved.
Did he?
Did he?
Mid-tournament.
I mean,
He showed up to round
He
3.
is trying to find an answer.
He's hurting right now.
By the time
But
that
it's going to be full back next weekend. Don't worry about it.
by the time he'll be easily have a decent beard by the time.
If he played well, then maybe he's going to keep it clean shaven.
One thing, if he wins, Deke, will you shave and match that?
If he wins the whole tournament?
Yeah.
Sure.
All
Wow.
right. Well, it's not. I mean, if we can get Ben to commit to something like that, then we're on to something.
I'm not too worried about it. It literally takes me like a good 7 hours, and I got a really good 5 o'clock shadow coming in, so I'm not really.
Each isn't too long. Ben's would be a commitment. That would be signing up for something. So Ben, with that said, who are you picking with the 7th pick? And then if they win, you shave your beard.
Man, a lot of guys left here who I thought would get taken. I was surprised with the Kevin Na. I did not think Woodland would
Like
get grabbed either. So that was.
I mean, I should have gone Rory Tiger, but I had it set in my mind that if I had the opportunity, those were the 2 I was going to take. So
Yeah. I'm going to go with Webb. I
would have
think
been
Webb's got a good
for
game
Rory.
for out there.
So.
He's been hot lately, so we'll keep it going. He's top 10 or top 12 this week.
Okay. Doesn't matter, but so Chris, Ricky Fowler got the whole field open to you, including Tiger. Is Tiger not going to get picked for a major here?
Seems foolish. So we're going to have to go with the 8th pick, Daniel Berger.
Sorry.
How is that spelled? B-E-R?
Berger.
Yeah. The face was not because of the Daniel Berger pick. Brooks just put one in the water on 18 on his tee shot.
Well, you're the only one that would get super jacked up about that in the St. Jude. All right, so let's see here. Let me share the screen now that that's all done. All right, so that's how it turned out. Chris going Ricky Fowler and Umberger. And Ben going with Brooks Koepka, Webb Simpson, Deke, Dustin Johnson, Kevin Na. And I went with Rory McIlroy and Gary Woodland. So that is our PGA Championship 2 golfer draft. And we will put that up on Twitter. Let us know who you think has the best odds of winning this. I'm going to say Ben probably does. Otherwise, maybe me in terms of who our listeners are going to pick. Just name notoriety. I think Kevin Na and Daniel Berger might throw some people. So interesting. Oh, I didn't want to stop sharing because we're going to go on to the next screen, and that is, there we go. Deke, take it away. What's going on in the bubble?
Everything's going on in the bubble. So proud of my favorite sport. I feel like they have things right and correct, and everybody seems to be following the rules. It's great to have basketball back. The Bucks won their first game against the Celtics. Sorry if you hear my dogs; they're going nuts over something. I'm not sure what, but yeah, I guess overall though, I'm looking at things, and well, yesterday, T.J. Warren 53-point night. Same game, Joel Embiid 40 and 20, but he also got in a fight with his team, so which is typical of the Sixers. They have no chance. And just exciting. It's exciting for everything to be back, and then, like I said, I think NBA is doing a great job of making it like it's an actual game. They're doing some really cool things. They're streaming the fans in. How they have the players sitting on the bench to make it appear that there's people there and they're spread out, and so yeah. So I think they're doing some quality work there, considering throughout the pandemic. But I'm worried about the Heat, and I'm worried about the Raptors as a Bucks fan. Just gonna throw that out.
So, any changes to who's currently like 7 and 8 seed? Because those are the real big ones of teams fighting to get in. Or
no, I mean they've only played at most. Each team's only played 2 games, so nothing has really changed. Maybe the Brooklyn Nets and Orlando swapped 7 and 8 spots, and again in the West, I have to look, but I just don't pay too much attention to it because.
Are the Pelicans done? I see. Didn't they lose their first 2?
Yeah,
they needed to win. They needed to win quite a few.
They're not completely done, so they're 4 out with 6 to play.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
But
they need more help. But
again, the West, Portland's 2.5 back of Memphis for the 8th spot with 6 to play. And then from the 8th spot to the 7th that's already decided. So the 8th seeds are really the only seeds that aren't decided.
I like Portland to get in there.
Yeah.
To me, they're more dangerous than Memphis.
Lakers Clippers had a great game. LeBron, came down to the last second and made not last second, but like 10 seconds ago, made a clutch shot and play. Giannis, MVP numbers, his first game back against the Celtics.
So, Deke, let me ask you, as a Bucks fan and a huge Giannis fan, what do you feel about the criticism, the controversy, the 6 fouls that everybody is barking about that Giannis supposedly committed his fair share of fouls and wasn't called for them and therefore got to continue playing in that game?
I would say about time.
But did you think, because I didn't watch, so did you think that the fouls that the people are talking about, they have a legitimate gripe, or is it just like they're Boston fans and they're, whoever is the losing team's always going to complain about officiating?
Yeah, I think that's probably the case. I didn't notice anything during the game, and whoever else watched it, that I was like, oh man, Giannis is. I think the one thing they're talking about is he came up on a screen. The Tice guy was setting a screen, and Giannis legitimately just put his hands on his hip. And from my standpoint, it almost seemed like the Tice guy was like flopping, like he made this like huge like gesture, like that he got hit in the groin or something. But it was nothing like who are the guys that like Grayson Allen, and then who did that?
Yeah, it wasn't a shot to the junk. It wasn't like a backhand.
Somebody else recently did that in college. I think that kind of got a bad rap for that. But
Grayson Allen, that was
from the Badgers. Brad Davison for the Badgers.
Oh yeah. He's a big flopper.
It wasn't like that. I mean, he just was trying to get through a screen, and so I don't see that. And yeah, as far as getting fouls, he gets hammered legitimately every time he goes in the lane, and he gets called for about 10%, or gets 10% of those calls. So.
So when do the Bucks play next?
7:30 Rockets. So should be a good game.
But we won't have this up in time. So when do they play after that?
Somebody else has it in front of them. Go ahead and spot it out. I'd have to look here quick.
Probably in a couple days, maybe like Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah, I think they play every other day.
That would make sense.
So they play Tuesday versus Brooklyn.
Oh. All right.
And they play Miami on Thursday, so that'll be a big game.
Gotcha.
I will say it sounded like Marcus Smart was whining and complaining a little bit about a foul at the end there that should have been a charge. I was watching the game. The guy's commenting on it. He even said like he had his heels on the restricted line.
Yeah, he moved once Giannis was in the air.
Yeah, Giannis is in the air and he's still moving and he's complaining about it. So whatever. I feel like he's one of those guys like that.
I saw that one on social media, and when they showed it, I was kind of confused because I was like, well, I can't believe they called the charge there, because when you're watching it, live for the first time in fast motion, it's like, oh, he's in the restricted area. And then they show it in slow motion and you see that he was in the restricted area set, and then Giannis took off, and then he took like one little, almost like a half step and reset, but that was while Giannis was up in the air, which therefore would make it a block because he wasn't set before he left the ground. So yeah, I was very confused as to why they thought that should have been a charge, because he obviously therefore slid underneath. But
don't get me started with Marcus Smart. I don't even want to go there.
Yeah.
He's a habitual line stepper.
He's one of those guys, you love him if he's on your team, hate to play against him type guys. He's like a Draymond. It's just like, they're always the guys that seem to be mixed into the big plays of the big games, or at least against maybe the Bucks. So I like him as a scrappy player, as a role player, but I could see how people don't like him. That's for sure. So anything else on the NBA before we get rolling into MLS here?
No, I'm good. Just glad they're back. They're doing a good job with COVID.
Yeah, it's been fun so far to watch that. So thanks, Deke, for the update on the NBA. And then, Chris, we're going right to you. What's the update on the MLS and their current tournament?
Awesome. Yeah. So they're down to the Final Four. I think the last time we spoke, they were in the 16s. So we've had a couple rounds since then. The Final Four comes down to Philadelphia versus Portland and Minnesota versus Orlando. So the Loons, for our local listeners, are still alive, kicking, actually playing extremely well. So
kicking.
Yeah, no, they're playing great. I guess there's not too much going on as far as like the season. So the only thing that kind of a note is the coach for Minnesota, when Minnesota started their expansion, he actually started the expansion in Orlando for that team as well. So this matchup is probably kind of close to home for him and kind of a rivalry they set up. So other than that, I mean, they have a good shot to win. I would kind of love to see a Portland-Minnesota final. I think any soccer fan watching would agree that's probably going to be the best matchup. So,
how is Ethan back playing from his little injury and run in with this advertisement?
Yeah, he played both games. I think one game might be had an assist. I don't know if based on stats or anything, but they've been as a team rolling. I think they won in a PK shootout that very first game for the round of 16. They beat a team that didn't lose the entire time, so that was a big win. And then this last game, they just absolutely dominated San Jose. So they're looking good and look like a team that probably calls themselves an underdog for no reason, but whatever motivates you.
So when are these Final Four games happening?
Wednesday night, Thursday night. So one each night. I think they're both on ESPN, I would assume. Maybe FS1 has one.
Championship game then next weekend?
Championship game is August 11th, so Tuesday next week. Is that right? So gives them 5 days in between, fully rest. So
Gotcha.
hopefully have an update by next week Sunday, and you'll at least know the finals.
Sure. Deke?
Any how are they doing with COVID stuff? They have players that have gotten it, or how are they handling that?
I believe the MLS has had success just like the NBA and the WNBA. Once they're in the bubble, it seems like very few test positive. I mean, I believe they're tested either every day or every 48 hours. If anything happens, like even a positive test, they retest within 24 hours, and you have to show it back-to-back days for it to be considered. But no, since I think the last few weeks, I haven't heard anything as far as any problems.
They're similar situation to the NBA in terms of the bubble. Are they down in Orlando as well?
They're down in Orlando as well. So, I mean, as long as they're sticking to the bubble, it seems to be successful. But they're going to be similar to the NBA. I'm sorry, the MLB in a couple weeks. They're going to go back on the road and play at home stadiums. So that'll be
that seems to be the big trouble, and we'll talk about that in a second. But what about overseas? I thought I saw something. Maybe Arsenal won something. I don't know much about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, really, soccer's tough. There's a lot of cups. There's a lot of leagues, and a lot of those leagues play tournaments based on your seeding every year. So a team that earns a tournament bid for 1 year, that team might not play all together, but the next year they're involved in that tournament. So just because you win it 1 year, you're going to get put into the league the next year. So like just like the MLS tournament, if you win this tournament in 2021, you get a bid to the CONCACAF League, which is all the top South America teams. So they play in one tournament. So it's tough to follow if you're not really consumed into it. But I believe it was like the Federate. I would even have to look. It was the FAA Cup. I know that. But okay. Arsenal beat Chelsea. Pulisic, U.S. star, got hurt. I'm not sure to what extent, but if in the next 4 years, if you have a chance to watch any soccer, that guy's going to be an absolute stud. So pretty special.
What's the name?
Christian Pulisic, plays for Chelsea. He's 21, but he's definitely the best American player I would say we have. I could be wrong, but my opinion. And he's already in the Premier League for the last 2 years and just really starting to ramp it up here.
Awesome. Anything else on the MLS?
Nope, pretty low key right now.
All right. Anybody else? Anything to add there, Deke or Ben?
I'm going to jump back real quick to NBA.
Yeah.
Interesting thing. The coaches are not wearing suits. They're just wearing like polos.
Which I think is fine.
Yeah, but just interesting. Different. Change.
Do you think they'll stick with that, or once they get back to, whenever it gets back to normal, they'll go back to suits? Or will this kind of spark a change to where they're a little bit more?
I think once you get back to normal, they'll go in suits again. They may even go in suits in the playoffs, but I just thought it was an interesting little thing that it is the regular season game, and they're all just wearing their polos like they're playing in the Maui Invitational or something.
Right. Yeah, that's true. And the funny thing is like, what does it matter? What if the coach in, like MLB had to wear a uniform? So they're there with a tank top and shorts on.
Yeah.
Just a weird thing that, in indoor sport, they have to wear a suit. Football coaches used to wear suits. They don't wear suits anymore. Some of them just wear hoodies and wind pants, Belichick. But it's really weird. Coaching attire from sport to sport is so weird. And there's no rhyme or reason to any of it. So I like that little.
MLS, they wear suits, right, Chris?
Some coaches do, yeah, during the regular season games, but everybody's wearing Black Lives Matter T-shirts from what I've seen for coaches during this tournament. Which
is also funny that they wear suits because, in the limited soccer viewing that I do, a lot of the coaching, they're just sitting there in their little bench area. And a lot of them have
jumpsuits, but the European, like Premier League guys, they're all, they're they're good looking, probably ex-players, so they're all fit, but they're in their nice little, probably like jeans with a suit coat. You got to have something to throw if you're mad. Can't take off a t-shirt. So.
All right, let's cover baseball here real quick. Not a ton to cover. I wish we could go down a rabbit hole with baseball here and what's happened recently. To put it quickly, the Marlins had a bit of an outbreak within their team, and they are just getting back to playing. And the Cardinals have since had a couple people test positive. Not too many players. It's certainly not like the Marlins situation, which has essentially canceled the entire Brewers-Cardinals series that was supposed to happen Friday to today, which was the Brewers' home opening series. So the Brewers have been off this whole time. Good news for the Brewers. They haven't had any positive tests. Bad news for the Brewers. Lorenzo Cain has opted out for the rest of the season. He's got, I believe, 3 young ones at home and has just decided it's not worth it, which, you can't really knock anybody for those choices. And then obviously Deke with his Mets hat, Yoenis Cespedes today did not show up to the game in Atlanta. He did apparently not tell anybody, and they could not get a hold of him. And then they finally did, I guess, what you would call like a wellness check. They basically went into his room without hearing from him, and his room was completely packed up, and everything was gone, and he left. And then they found out later from his agent that he is opting out. So weird situation with Yoenis Cespedes and the Mets. Lorenzo Cain came out and made a statement. The Brewers made a statement that they're, backing his decision. And I think that's, if you see more of that, which we probably will, it'll happen more the way that Lorenzo Cain did. This whole Cespedes thing was a little odd today. Things were, rumors were circulating out on in the Twitter world and social medias. So that was a little bit odd. So the Brewers haven't played in 4 days. I think they had a Thursday off, and then obviously now Friday, Saturday, Sunday canceled. But because they don't have any positive tests, they are going to resume normal play tomorrow against the White Sox. They have 4 games against the White Sox, and they're doing a home and home. So 2, they will get their home opener now, which I believe is tomorrow against the White Sox, and then they will play 2 in Miller Park, and then they'll go to Chicago and play 2 games there against the White Sox. So that's what they have coming up on their schedule. We'll see what happens. Double headers have been officially switched to 7-inning matchups. So as they try to cram these games in, as teams test positive and have to postpone games, that they will be doing 7-inning games, which honestly, what does that save you? An hour in terms of the game? I don't see. I guess it saves some pitchers' arms, but you already have an extended bullpen, so that part doesn't. It's whatever. Why didn't they just come out and say they were going to do 7-inning doubleheaders when they came out with the 60-game schedule? I think everybody would have had their opinion then, but it would have been what it is. But to now make a change, ultimately, I feel, and I think a lot of people feel, that if they do continue, and that is definitely a big if right now with everything that's happening. But if they do continue, not every team is going to finish their 60 games, and we're going to get stuck in a weird spot where it's going to come down to winning percentage, and not everybody's going to have played the same amount of games. The more this assuming that more teams are going to pop up with positive tests and games are going to get postponed and all that sort of stuff. But I think Manfred, the MLB commissioner, is trying to stick to his guns. I think his job is on the line because he and the owners put up a big fight not to play additional games when the players wanted to play more games. And in the time of all their back and forth and negotiating this year's schedule, that they didn't have a lot of these things in place. Now, they don't have a bubble situation, right? They have all the teams playing. So it's a little bit different than MLS and NBA, where it's not all the teams. There's not a bubble situation. I don't know if you could really do a bubble situation. I don't know if there's that many big league parks in one area to play a bunch of games. I know in Orlando, that's where the Braves used to play spring training. But maybe you do multiple bubble situations. That's been brought up. Maybe Arizona and Florida, and split up East Coast and West Coast, and have teams. It is what it is, right? This is the situation that they're in, and it just doesn't seem like they did it very well. When the Marlins thing first came out, it was like they had no idea. The Marlins players got to vote on whether they were going to play after they knew people had positive tests, and
that's the dumbest thing to me out of all
right.
this.
And I don't know that that may have been just a absolute stupid decision made by the Marlins, outside of anything. But yeah, right. I mean, it's like, how does that happen? The first time you get any positive tests and that's how it was handled is absolutely ridiculous. So it's weird. A lot of stuff is tracking back to Atlanta. You had Lou Williams in the NBA bubble, and he went to Atlanta, came back positive. You had the Marlins outbreak, which they are sort of tracking back to when the Marlins played exhibition games before the regular season started against the Braves in Atlanta. And apparently a couple players went out, not necessarily like went out to bars, but maybe just out to eat or whatever. And they came back positive. And then Yoenis Cespedes and the Mets are currently in Atlanta. And that whole situation unfolded today. So a little weird here in the state of Georgia with all that happening. So that's kind of baseball in a nutshell. Everything's kind of going as usual. A lot of pitcher injuries, I think, with the quick ramp up. One big call out, Dalton Varsho, who is essentially from Marshfield. He's from the little town of Chile, right outside of Marshfield. Did get a call up from the Arizona Diamondbacks. He's a catcher for them, and he was their top prospect. And he was a big prospect listed on MLB The Show, the video game. They kind of come out with, 20, I'll say 20 prospects that they really highlight, and they kind of give them better ratings as like, this is where we expect these guys to be. And they're kind of sought after players in that whole world if you're playing MLB The Show on PlayStation. And he got the call up a couple days ago, and so he's getting the opportunity to contribute in Arizona. So that's pretty cool to see, because we haven't had anybody maybe since his dad, Gary Varsho, play in the MLB. We've had some people nearby, and like Jordan Zimmerman in the Auburndale area, playing with the Tigers and the Nationals, and but with him, I think he went to senior high in Marshfield. So that whole connection there, and I want to say he went to one of the D3s in Wisconsin. Did he not? Do you guys know? I want to say he played for one of the WEAC schools, but I could be way off there. I didn't really follow his college career, but still cool. I mean, it's pretty awesome. We're a fairly small town, 20,000 people, give or take, and having somebody come out and being, considered a top prospect in the major leagues is pretty awesome. So we're wishing him the best of luck as he continues. And we're going to have somebody from the exact same high school playing in the Final Four in MLS. And now we have another student from the same high school playing in the MLB. That's pretty remarkable. So Chris, what'd you have?
Update, college, Milwaukee Panther. So he played in Milwaukee D1.
That's it. Yep.
Birthplace, they do have him listed as Chile, Wisconsin. So can't take full credit for him, but we'll
but all those kids come to Marshfield to go to school anyway. So
right,
he's a Marshfield boy.
Wrestler then, right? You wrestled.
I have no idea.
A lot of the Chile boys do. I don't know. I don't know. Do you guys go from wrestling? I mean, obviously, Jared Cresswell was a big wrestler and baseball player. He could have. I don't know what he did outside of baseball, to be honest. If he did, for all I know, he was a great football player too. I have honestly no idea outside of baseball.
Yeah, I didn't know that until I saw an article about it, that he was even from Marshfield. But you mentioned though that it's pretty cool that you have a player in that MLB and a player in MLS from the same high school. It is pretty cool for the size of the town.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. And I mean, that his family, big baseball family, Gary Varsho, his dad played, and then he was like a bench coach, I want to say for the Phillies for the longest time, and he played Little League baseball with my dad. So I mean there's a weird connection all the way back. So my dad has stories about playing Little League against his dad, and he's obviously younger than us, but I want to say I maybe played a softball game against him in Arpin or something like that. He was done with school at the time and came, and it may have been him, may have not have been him. I have no idea. We probably won because we were awesome. Don's Fine Furnishing.
Oh. Shout out to Claire Manlick if you're listening, buddy.
Yeah, little shout out to Manny.
I saw Lou Boy had his Don's Fine Furnishing polo on for the golf outing this weekend.
Hey, got to keep things classy. Got to keep
just had a press.
Yeah. All right, so that's kind of the baseball wrap up. We're already starting to run a little bit long here, so I want to keep us moving, and we're gonna go right into what else are you watching. So we'll go around the horn here pretty quick. And Ben, I see you, so let's start with you. What are you watching outside of sports?
Oh man, you see me, so you go with me. I've been watching sports this week. Not much.
No
any of the
Entourage?
TV shows. No, I finished Entourage, so it was a nice little show. Got through it quick.
Yes, it is. It is a nice little show.
Yeah, no, but watched a little bit of basketball this week. That was fun, obviously. So got into the golf a little bit this week. Helped that my man JT was playing well. So that is over, by the way. He did win, just in case anybody cared.
What'd you do this weekend?
We went tubing today.
Where?
Helen, Georgia. It's about an hour north of us.
Yep. Went up north.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. There's a lot of apparently that's the big Oktoberfest area up there.
Yep.
So that was kind of cool to see, big touristy area.
And you're headed south next weekend.
Yep. Next week we're going to Savannah. So
we'll update everybody after that. We'll make sure that everything goes as planned before we give anybody some updates there. So
things can still change before then. She's got time to get out. So
yeah. All right. So Ben wasn't watching a whole heck of a lot. So let's go, Chris. What else are you watching?
Our listeners are going to be disappointed, but also I was watching a lot of sports. I mean, we are finishing up Schitt's Creek. We're in the final couple episodes.
I thought you were saying we are finishing shit up here. Okay,
no. It's not even out. The next season isn't out on Netflix yet. We're having to watch it on Pop TV, recording or something. It's not the best quality, but we're fighting through it. Other than that, seriously, I got Brewers on or soccer on or something. Sorry, guys. Go Bucks tonight, ABC.
All right,
Deke. I should start doing future sports with Deke because it seems like I might not be helping out with the TV shows like Jason's 7-minute segments. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say, to tag onto that, Chris, if we want to keep this short, Jason, stop watching so much TV. Okay, that's basically all you have to do.
Just because you guys are watching sports and I watch shows instead. Go ahead.
I'm watching one show, and that's Fear City on Netflix, about New York City in the 70s and 80s, about the mafia. And it's actually, I don't know, I don't think it's that great. They kind of talk about the FBI, how they take down the godfathers of the 5 families. And if you've watched any number of mafia movies, it's pretty much how it goes. So gotcha. I'm watching it, but I don't think it's that great.
So not a recommendation, which is good because I was thinking about getting into that.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it.
I got through one of those, Deke, and I'm with you. I thought everything was kind of similar to what I've watched before on Netflix about the mafia, and I just stopped.
Yep.
Man, what are you doing? Okay. Was that all you had, Deke?
Yep, and here we go, guys. We're going to go get a drink or something, grab the Snickers, but here's Jason's turn. Here we go.
Okay, I'm going to keep this short and sweet. So still watching everything I've talked about previously. a show that I'm watching with my wife is Absentia. I think I'm saying that right. On Amazon Prime, kind of an FBI murder mystery. It's got a few seasons. We're through a couple of them. It's pretty good. And the show that I am currently watching on Netflix is Cursed. And Cursed is kind of a Merlin witchcraft, sword in the stone type show. So it's all right. I'm just getting into it. So that's all I'm watching. So yeah, let's get back to it. Let's get right. Yep. Your silent golf applause there with your muted mics.
Cable guy is getting some counseling.
Whatever. Chris, we need names. Chris, we need names for the NBA draft. We are going to pick 5 players in all of the NBA, not just the bubble. All current players. It doesn't matter the positions that they are in. So with that, Chris, give me the layout here of who is drafting last.
Let's go front to back this time.
Is that how you like it, Ben?
Yeah, front to back.
You gotta say it out loud because I don't see
Ben.
it. Wait. So what are we doing? Is Ben
Ben's
first
last.
pick or the last? Okay. All right, and who is third pick?
It happens every time. Jason.
Okay.
Is Sabario's an NBA player?
And the second pick?
Geek. This is ridiculous.
Chris wins.
Right? It's
I'm
just
We're gonna be tied at 5.
I'm telling you, this is you guys were all over me about how it I always was 1 or 2 essentially. It's how it is. So that's how it looks. We're going Chris, Deke, Jason, Ben, and then we will snake it. So again, positions don't matter. All teams are involved, even the teams that are not in the bubble. So we talked about it earlier. Chris, are you going with the automatic win here? Are you going with Giannis number 1?
Hey, Deke, would you like to trade first pick for your second and third pick? You can have my 4th.
We're not trading. We're not
eventually get a full team.
Okay, first pick then. We'll go with.
I'm willing to consider.
We're not trading picks.
All right. Well, either way, you're gonna get lucky. I'm going LeBron James.
Wow.
Oh, that's what I would have done too, Chris. I don't take anything away from Giannis. I just.
If you haven't seen LeBron play defense in the bubble, you are missing something. That guy is a freak.
Not to be confused with the Greek freak. So I mean,
He's
Deke.
also
Giannis.
Okay, so I don't have the spelling acumen when it comes to NBA, so I'm going to need a little bit of help with the last name here.
Ant.
Yep.
I'm looking. ETOK. OUNMPO.
Almost doesn't fit, but we got it on there. Okay.
James is also spelled James. James.
Thank you, Ben. Appreciate that. Okay, so I'm kind of in a weird spot here because who do I think is the third best player? I'm gonna leave somebody good for Ben, and Ben's got back-to-back picks. I'm trying to go quick here. I forget that we're already running a little long, so I'm gonna go with Kawhi.
The Claw.
Kawhi Leonard. So Ben, you got back-to-back picks, 4 and 5. Who are you going with?
I'm going to go with Anthony Davis and Kevin Durant.
Oh. Which leaves a one Mr. James Harden for me at 6. I like that. offense defense combo there.
Now I get Deeks next too.
You
Okay,
got,
sorry,
you
Dick.
got number 7 here. Who you got? Pat Connaughton.
Steffortless. Steph Curry.
Stephen Curry. That's Steven, right? And
Steven.
have you guys heard that story about why he chose Under Armour?
Yeah.
Because he went into the Nike meeting and they called him Steven, which is just ridiculous. But Chris, you got back-to-back picks, but give me 8. We'll show the board as usual.
Yep. Luca. Doncic.
That one I knew. That one I was on top of, but I appreciate it. All right, so there's the updated board. Chris got LeBron and Luca. Deke going with Giannis and Steph. I have the Claw and the Beard. And Ben has Anthony Davis and KD. Speaking of which, I'm also winning the, what are they called, nicknames? I'm winning the nickname draft right now. I got the Claw and the Beard. I mean, who else can compete with that? Nobody.
I got the King.
Nobody.
I got the Greek Freak and Steffortless.
And the Kid.
Effortless is not his nickname. Isn't he Chef?
Chef Curry. He's cooking.
Yeah, that's a dumb nickname. Anyways, Chris, you have the 9th pick. You're back-to-back. Start around 3. Deke's mixing it up, which is Harden's thing. So thank you for the shout-out to my awesome draft pick.
We're going with the kid from Weber State. Damian Lillard.
Damian with an A.
Damian.
Yeah.
Also a quality nickname team. Baby Dame. Dame Dalla.
Dame Dalla. Legend.
That's 2 L's ARD, right?
Yes.
Okay. Deke, 10th pick.
Where's the board at? Can I have the board?
Just
No. No, not allowed.
Just take Embiid and be done with it.
Paul
Middleton's
George.
still available. Huh?
Oh, George. What'd you say, Chris?
Middleton, I thought he was going to go Bucks roster.
I thought Planet Pat was coming off the board. Oh,
Your guy.
okay. So now we're getting into the weeds here a little bit of.
Just an FYI, as you guys think, my favorite Buck besides Giannis is George Hill. Just a tidbit for anybody who's wondering.
I don't have I should probably get like some stats up in front of me here. I don't really know. I don't want to look too stupid here.
Well, he couldn't do that bad. He could go with like D'Angelo Russell or something, but
I don't want to go D'Angelo.
You go Square World.
Excuse me?
Square World.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
The world is flat.
Oh, no. No, gosh. I think I might have to go. I think I might have to go to Houston Rockets and go with Russell.
Yep.
Russell Westbrook. So Ben, back-to-back picks, 12-13. Let's hear him.
Nikola Jokic, the Joker.
Why do you gotta move your mouth like that? Is that how you say it? You have to say it like that? Nikola Jokic.
It's fun. Try it.
That's how he eats, too. If you've ever eaten with Ben, it's constantly mouth open, smacking food around.
It's hard. You got to keep the beard hair out of the way. You know, you gotta keep angles.
But wouldn't, if you kept your mouth closed, the beard hair would be out of the way because all the food would be in your mouth?
No.
I'm with Jason.
Yeah. Ben, 13th pick, your 4th overall.
The youngest Trey.
Wow. Ben always has a little shout out to his hometown, his new hometown. With last week he picked Acuna in the baseball draft. Now he's taking Trey Young. I'm not saying it's a bad pick. It's just interesting. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to go with another rookie, or not another rookie. Trey Young's not a rookie. I'm going to go with who I believe is the rookie of the year. And I'm going to go with Morant.
Wow. That's insulting.
I'm not taking somebody who's not playing right now.
Well, Chris Paul, ouch.
Okay, so if you had the choice right now, would I guess I don't know. That's a tough argument to say. Like 1-on-1, who would you have join the Bucks? What would depend on their overall skill set. But if you had to dismantle the Bucks and you had to take somebody to build the team up around, would you build them around Chris Paul or would you build them around Ja Morant?
Again, I forget what they say in court. I was going to say objection because I had right away. It's a very tailored question, but
one's old, one's
that's
new,
respectable.
Yeah.
Ja's he's good.
He's awesome. I mean, he's only
beyond good.
better.
Yeah.
Okay, so Deke, we're on you. You got 15th pick, your 4th.
Me?
Yeah, you.
I like this guy. He scares me a lot, though. Pascal Siakam.
He scares you as a Bucks fan?
Yes.
And because you don't know how old he really is?
So he is Giannis that can shoot a tad bit better, but isn't as strong in body.
Yeah.
Is my opinion.
He's good. And he almost came out more out of nowhere than Giannis. I mean, his ascension was like 1 year he was a no-name, role player, and then the next year it was like, dude's going 15, 18 off the bench, and now he's a mainstay, best player on the team.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fun to watch. He's almost like a modern Chris Bosh. Like he's got the skills Bosh had. Like not as much of a, because Giannis attacks a lot more than Siakam does, and Bosh was more of like the give it to me mid range, and I'll work from there, not full head of steam like Giannis gets.
Yeah.
So I almost see Siakam as he's got the skill set of Bosh, but just my take. So Chris, back-to-back picks, but give me one to end the 4th round.
Not a bad couple guys to compare your game to.
Jimmy Butler.
You got a squad, buddy. I'm just looking at your squad, and it is formidable.
Jimmy Buckets.
Let me show the board. So that's how it looks. Everybody has been taken off the background picture except for Embiid. Chris going with LeBron, Luka, Dame, and Jimmy Butler. Deke with the Greek Freak, Steph, PG, and Siakam. I've got Kawhi, Harden, Westbrook, Morant. Ben's got AD, KD, Nikola, and Trey Young. And now we are going to start the 5th and final round. So with that, Chris, who is going to round out your team?
I love my matchups, by the way. As I look at Deke's roster versus my roster, I'm very happy with it. So rounding out this team, Klay Thompson.
Go to the shooter. So Chris is going matchup here. I don't know. I mean, Clay's good. Hopefully he returns to.
No, Clay's great.
To form. Is he great?
Clay's great. Not a superstar, but he's great.
Okay. But I'm not necessarily disagreeing. Clay Thompson. All right. So Deke, finish out your squad. What do you got? I'm really kicking myself for not taking Paul George and taking Russell Westbrook, by the way. Or no, I couldn't have. Came the other way. Drop shot.
So I wish that there was some way. I'm going between two different guys.
Who are you going between?
Who's got the picks yet? You're the last pick.
Me and Ben. I mean, it doesn't matter, right? I mean, you have your choice between the guys. It's not like you get another pick.
3 guys.
Who are they?
I'm going Victor Oladipo.
Oh, okay. Who are the other 2?
Bradley Beal and Devin Booker.
Over Tatum?
Is it O-L-I? A-D-I-P-O. D-I. Okay. So my tough choice is not between the guys that you had. My tough choice is between Kyrie and Donovan Mitchell. I really like the Spiders game as opposed to Bradley Beal and who was the other one you said?
Booker.
Yeah, I like Booker. Booker, it'd probably be different if he was on a bigger team. Ben, any of those guys on your radar? I think I know who I'm going to go with. I don't.
One of those guys was the guy I've been hoping for.
That I said?
No, that Deke said.
Ben's taking Booker.
Interesting. So nobody wants.
Bad poker face there.
Nobody wants Kyrie. I don't know that I want Kyrie, but I feel like I should take him over Donovan Mitchell.
Well, you have the team of kind of, I don't want to say rejects, but kind of badass NBA team here. So you might as well just take Kyrie and see if you can roll with it.
No, I'm going Donovan. I'm going Spider. I'm going Donovan Mitchell. He's got his team in the playoffs. From what I saw, he had a pretty decent first game. So I'm going Donovan Mitchell, which leaves Ben with his choice.
Bradley Beal.
Oh.
Beal going with a Washington Wizard. And his team is in the bubble, but he chose not to play. So Ben chose a quitter. That's fine. All right, so let's show the board here before we wrap things up. And as usual, and I'll start this one. I think, well, you know what? I thought Deke had the strongest squad, but I don't like the Oladipo pick. I would have liked Beal, I think, more. I would have liked Mitchell or Kyrie more. Booker and Oladipo are kind of on the same level. I'll still take Deke's team as I think the overall favorite, even though LeBron is my overall favorite player. So Chris has that nod, but I would probably vote team 2. So Chris, other than your team, who are you picking?
I'll pick, Deke's team. I think the only thing I maybe would have switched is Lillard with PG, but I mean, that's force a piece based on positioning for my team. So yeah, Deke's got a Giannis that helps everybody. So I'll say he takes the W here.
Okay, and Ben, what are your thoughts? Ben, by the way, the only one taking a center in this. Actually, 2 centers, technically. I guess Davis, I think, is considered a center, maybe. If not, he's got 3 power forwards. So Ben's got the biggest squad. So if we actually played, he would have, I think, a pretty decent size advantage. I think I would have the smallest team. Yeah, because Luka and Clay are both taller than you'd expect.
My team ain't that big.
Paul George is what, 6'6" or bigger, and
Yeah.
Giannis obviously is big, and Siakam's big. So Steph and Oladipo certainly bring you down, but I got a pretty small squad.
Ooh,
Telephone.
somebody's calling for your answer, Ben.
Ben, are you phoning a friend right now?
No, I guess I would have to go with Deke just because he's got Giannis. I think people are going to vote for him just because of that.
No. Whose team do you like the most? Not whose team do you think your other people are going to vote for. Who do you think has the best team other than yourself?
Chris's. I would go with Chris.
Okay, what tips the scales there?
I just think top to bottom, he's got a lot of good players there. Jimmy Butler, I guess I would take Clay over Jimmy, but that's just me. I think Jimmy does a lot of things very well. But he would be, I guess, the weak link on that team for me. But overall, I guess top to bottom, you got LeBron, you got Luka, you got Damian. Those are three of my favorite players in the league right now. And then you toss Clay in there as well. That's a good squad.
Oh wow! Look at that insight from Mr. Ben Christensen, everybody. Man, that's awesome. I like this.
Getting fresh here.
Yeah. So okay, well that's gonna wrap it up. And again, we're going kind of long here, so. We don't want to get too long-winded. Does anybody have any other final takes here? Otherwise, I'm going to get right to wrapping up episode 13. All good.
Go Bucks.
Go Bucks tonight. Go Loons. We'll have more for you. Hopefully next week. We'll try to get that rolling, and we'll get another episode out for you. So look for this draft on Twitter @rest_field. Put in your votes for the best NBA squad. Also, give us a shout as to who you think in our two-man PGA Championship is going to bring down the most prize money in that one. So we'll update everybody on those results. And with that, we are the rest of the field. This was episode 13. Had a lot of fun. Good to be back in kind of the weekly mindset as opposed to every other week. And we're looking forward to bringing you some more info. I still got to get that Instagram thing taken down. But again, @rest_field on Twitter. We are the rest of the field. It's Gorman, Chris Weiler, Justin Matzik, we call him D, and Ben Christensen. Thanks for tuning in. Give us a shout, give us a like, subscribe, tell a friend. Thank you, and we're out.